this one. Guershon Yabusele, the breakout star of the Olympics for France, was getting MVP chants in front of the home crowd and was certain to generate some NBA interest. How good that he's been. And he posted to social media the other day asking for a second chance in the league. Keith, I'm sure that what he did in the Olympics probably has some teams at least have the conversation. So, what would this look like if somebody decides, hey, we want to bring Yabusele in? Let's give him another shot. He was with the Celtics a couple of years now. Let's give him another chance here in the NBA. We liked what we saw in the Olympics. What happens from here?
Yeah, so here's the challenge. His buyout was only $1 million. This is per Mark Stein until July 15th. As of July 15th, it jumped to $2.5 million. So here's the thing. Let's say a team said, hey, we'll bring him in on a minimum deal. And that might be maybe he could get a little bit more than that. But let's just say that's where a team was looking at it. That's his entire deal. Like gets eaten up with that, paying that buyout. Now a team can contribute money, but it's only $850,000 that an NBA team can put towards that. So that becomes a little bit of a challenge for a guy like Yabusele, who would be coming back in theory to the NBA in most of that first year of his contract. So that might mean, hey, if I'm going to do this, I need a chunk of one of your exceptions. I need at least 4 or 5 million. So I'm making some money because I don't want to just turn around and hand all of my salary to Real Madrid, who he plays for over in Spain. So that's the challenge. Now, basketball wise, let's take the Olympics almost out of the mix because, yes, teams are going to evaluate that and they're going to make that part of it. And he looked very good, but no one's going to overreact to that. But what's important is that built on 3 consecutive strong seasons for Real Madrid, who's one of the top teams in Europe. Every year they're in around the EuroLeague championship, every single season. And here's what he did just this past season alone. He averaged 9.7 points per game. Don't get too worked up over that's it. That's actually pretty solid for a guy who is on most teams. He's like a third or fourth option on the Real Madrid team. But here's the exciting part. 53% shooting from the field and 44.5% from 3 on 2.7 attempts per game. That's the third straight year of good 3-point shooting for him, where he was at 36% a year ago and the 2 years ago at 40%. So really strong numbers for Yabusele. And that makes you think, all right, maybe he can kind of do this stretch for kind of thing in the NBA where that's not what he was able to do when we saw him with Boston as a very young player a few years ago.
And this is a guy, and by the way, just from kind of keeping an eye on the discussion that's being held on social media around the NBA from fans of various teams. It seems like fans of every team right now are saying, "Give this guy a shot, bring him in." After what we saw in the Olympics, but this dude, I mean, he looks like a big guy out there on the floor, but he's 6'8", 270. I mean, this is a sturdy fellow that you've got that you can put out there. So any team that's looking for a little bit of physicality, now people will say, "Oh, he's only 6'8". Yeah, but now he can shoot the 3. He can stretch the floor well and give you that kind of bulk out there on the floor. I could think of a number of teams that could use a player like that. But again, the question becomes the buyout. Does it become worth it? And some of that, Keith, might be on his side. How badly does he want to come to the NBA and try to prove himself? Is he willing to sacrifice that much salary just in order to get out of his contract? I mean, I think if I'm him and I'm his agent, I believe, hey, now's the time. This is my shot. This is my opportunity. We need to take what happened in the Olympics and turn this into an NBA career here. I mean, you got to find a way to get it done. You got to find a way to get over here because he's got a lot of buzz around him right now. You wait until, say, next summer or something like that. Some of that may have died down.
And absolutely. And then the other thing is, what if he doesn't have a very good year this year?
Yeah.
Playing for Real Madrid. We don't have an international competition next year that we're going to see him necessarily shine on the world stage. I think we do have Eurobasket next summer, which he'll be a part of, obviously, but we're not necessarily going to see him step forward in a big way like he did. There's just not going to be as much a lot of American audiences aren't watching Eurobasket like we will because we love basketball and it's summertime hoops, so we'll be dialed in on it. But a lot of people don't watch it, so we'll see where that kind of goes with him. I think, yeah, if you can get a deal, let's just say it's like $4 million in first year salary, and then there's a couple years tacked onto that, you get the NBA team to pay 850K of that. You're on the hook for 1.7. So now you're coming in, you're making roughly, you're going to make roughly 1.5 in first year salary. Okay, but then I've got a couple more years at 4.5 million, whatever. After that, great. Let's go. Let's move forward with that. And I think I'm with you on, yeah, now's the time. Take advantage now because you don't know where this will get to. And I think you mentioned it, but he's 28, turns
Yeah.
29 like before the year is out in mid-December. So it's not like we're talking about a guy who's 22 and has 10 years left of his career. He's probably got about, if it all went well, 4 to 5 good NBA years left in him. If he wants to make another run, like let's see. I did think it was fun how many players were like commenting. It was a lot of obviously the French NBA players
Mhm.
were like league him. But yeah, then a bunch of other guys that are American born players kind of chiming in saying, yeah, let's get him another shot. So we'll see. For any Celtics fans wondering, it's not going to be them. They can only offer him a minimum. I don't think that's going to be enough, and I don't think he's going to do that.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed, which also rings true for Lakers fans as well, who only have, I mean, don't even have a minimum or a roster spot available as of right now.